You're watching RideBMX.com. This is John Bocan here at Morning Ride BMX. I'm going to show you how to change a flat tire. First thing, you need the right tools. In this case, we're changing out a front flat. So we got a 3/8 axle here. We need a 15mm wrench. I'm going to start off by just taking it off. So if your tire is not exactly flat and totally deflated, you want to let all the air out you can, because then when you go to pull the tire off the rim, it's going to be a lot easier with no air in there. Next, you want to identify what gave you the flat. In this case, we got looks like some rose thorns. You've got to make sure you get all those thorns out. Just kind of go through and pull them out as you go. And then if it's glass, you want to be careful not to cut your hand while rubbing and feeling where the piece of glass is that popped your tire. And then, let's see, this tire is pretty loose, so you could probably grab it right here on the top, on the opposite side of the valve stem. It's the best place to get the most amount of slack out of your tire. And then you want to pull it up and over the rim, and you want to come forward with a rolling motion. Work your way around. So you got half the tire off. It's about all you're going to need to do. From there, you don't need to necessarily take the whole thing off. Pull out the tube. And you also want to check inside the tire. And again, you want to be careful about not cutting your hand on any glass or staples or thorns. And then you also want to take a look at your rim strip too. Make sure it's lined up over all the eyelets of the rim. If your tire is too difficult to get off by hand, you can always use a tire lever. Plastic's good because it doesn't scar your rim up. You got a colored rim here too. You use metal on it, it will scrape the paint off. So you want to come up here, opposite side of the valve stem. Pull the tire up a little bit, get your lever under there and pry it forward. It's got a little hook on the end here that hooks it on the spoke, holds that in place, so you can come in with your second one. And you can hold that one in place and you can just kind of pull the tire lever around. From there you should be able to get it with your hands. The next thing you're going to want to do is get your tube and inflate some air into it to give it some shape. You just need to put a little bit in just to give it a little shape, just so it fits nice and even in the tire. And then you want to start out just by putting it through the valve hole. You want to push that through. And then you're going to want to pull the bead of the tire over the spot where you just put it in on the valve stem. Then you're ready to go and just work the tube right in. Just pop it in there. And then the opposite of taking it off, you want to start at the valve stem. So that way you're going to get the most amount of slack, so you're not having to use a tool to get it off at the top. You want to make sure you're running the highest pressure possible in your tires, so you're not getting pinch flats. On the sidewall here, it gives you the maximum PSI you want to run. This one we got 65 PSI, so top it off at 65. You want to make sure to look at the bead and make sure it's all even, because once in a while you're filling up the tire, putting too much air in too fast, and you start to get a little egg in the tire, a little wobbly spot. So you want to spin it and make sure it's flush all the way around. Okay, so you want to put your valve cap on. So if you're out riding trails, you don't want any excess sand getting in there. Although a lot of people do prefer not to run them to save the extra gram of weight. Just want to get it into place, thread it on by hand. You come in with your 15mm and tighten it back up. I tend to do a little bit on each side at a time, just so the axle's not spinning and you're getting it in there flush. So now that you've learned to change a flat, if you're out at the skate park and you get a flat, you don't have to rely on anybody else. Just make sure you have your own tools and an extra tube. The pump's a pretty good idea too.